The impacts of the September 11th terrorist attacks are lifelong for many who responded to the scene. On Newston First at 5, Danny Frazier walked us through his day as a paramedic in New York City on that day. He told us about moments he thought he'd die. Well, now at 6, he shares how 9/11 changed his life in the following days, months, and years. Now, we do want to warn you that the video in this story may bring up some difficult memories.
September 11th was full of sights and sounds that are hard to forget, especially for emergency workers.
Come on, keep moving. I honestly, at that whole time, sat there and said, my partner's dead. Now, your partner is everything to you in EMS. And I thought he was dead. He thought I was dead.
Memories that are just as real today as they were 20 years ago for Danny Frazier.
And we ended up together about 4 o'clock that afternoon. I normally don't hug men, but that was one of the first ones that I do.
But despite the unknown of the day, something else was on Frazier's mind.
I wanted to know what I could do to help out.
And he did when he could.
I heard a girl screaming, and she couldn't walk because she had broken her leg with the bones sticking out. So I picked her up, threw her over my shoulder, found somebody that had a stretcher.
Frazier says there simply weren't many opportunities for medics to help.
The people were either dead or walking.
It's something he says led to survivor's guilt.
Police got to do their job, firemen got to do their job. EMS never got to do the job. And it was always one thing that bothered me.
Their feelings, Frazier says, played a role in his diagnosis of post-traumatic stress disorder 15 years later.
I got diagnosed because I went in to get a physical, and they asked the questionnaire, and they said, Mr. Frazier, are you suicidal? And I said, no. And they go, well, you got all the questions right. And I said, that means I get an A. And she said, no, you have classic signs of PTSD.
Signs that showed up in different ways in the time after 9/11.
It ruined a marriage. The anger was just unbelievable. I never hit anybody, but I wanted to. I wanted to just lash out. You know, the nightmares are unbelievable. I still have them. I have less of them, but I still have them.
He now shares those feelings to educate others by lecturing to emergency medical workers.
I was tired of going to funerals for EMS professionals that have committed suicide.
Frazier says he's touched more lives than he would like, but just like 20 years ago, his passion to help others continues.
To be a better paramedic, I wanted to make sure that the people that I was training were being trained correctly. And that was one of the things that I really went out of my way to do.
You've just heard from Newston's Susan Dinkle with executive producer Annie Johnston reporting. Today, Frazier works as an EMS logistics coordinator for a hospital in New Jersey. He still has family living here in the Wabash Valley. Stay with us. News 10 will be right back.